2026. Bow Energy has increased its proven, probable and possible, or 3P, coal seam gas reserves in Queensland by as much as 60%. Shares in the group soaring today on the news, up around 28%. Bow now says that it's on track to hit a target of 2,750 petajoules for 2010. The increases in the Triple P coal seam gas reserves will support Bow's plan to supply more to the domestic gas market, as well as the planned Gladstone LNG plant. And joining us on the line now from Brisbane is John Stefani. He's commercial CEO of Bow Energy. John, thanks so much for taking the time to check in with us this afternoon. When we take this increase into account, just how much closer are you to reaching your target for this year?
Yes, thanks, Nadine. Good afternoon. Look, we're very confident of meeting our targets that we've set ourselves for both 3P and what we're referring to as 2P gas reserves on our blocks, and this is the first piece of that puzzle. We've got a number of projects that we actually haven't yet drilled on and plan to drill this year, which will give us even more confidence of even exceeding our targets that we've set ourselves.
So just give us an idea of the amount of actual reserves that you've now found and just how far they put you ahead of your earlier expectations. Is this a really big deal?
Well, yeah, at the moment we have over 2,200 petajoules of, as you referred to, 3P gas in our acreage. And look, this is an important piece for our field development work. The next step for us is further appraisal work, which is really aimed at upgrading those reserves into something that we can therefore actually start marketing and look at commercialization of. So it's an important piece, but the next step for this year is really getting the developments of upgrading those results.
And how long does it take? Give us some sort of a timeline.
Well, for upgrades, we've already kicked off the program this year. We've got a very extensive program throughout our fields. So we've set ourselves a target for 2P reserves of 450 petajoules, and we're on track to do that. So looking over the next 12 months, that's our target, and that'll put us in a very good position to start commercialization of those projects for gas into as we say, targeting Gladstone for gas fields into 2014.
And of course, Gladstone is on sort of a 20-year plus cycle. How long does this commercialization take to get this stuff from the ground to the market?
Well, once we are at a position that we're comfortable about the field development, which, we're well on track to doing that, within 18, 24 months, we would be able to get comfortable with getting our gas into Gladstone. So we're targeting 2014, and, we're on track to do that.
Okay, timing is everything. Obviously, this has been a very big day in the coal seam gas sector. We've seen the multi-billion-dollar takeover bid for Arrow Energy, really putting CSG back into the spotlight. Is Bow a takeover target?
Well, look, today, as you say, has definitely put coal seam gas back on the forefront. Where we are is probably back in December, where our share price was at. Look, we've got a number of assets that we're focusing on. So for our perspective, we're head down and focusing on being very independent and going forward on that basis. We haven't had any offers, and really our goal is to keep powering ahead and arranging gas offtake arrangements rather than anything else. So that's where we currently stand.
It's interesting, though, when you look at some of the commentary coming out around this Arrow Energy deal, it's saying that it seems that perhaps why Shell moved now is because Arrow is starting to finalize the terms on one of its plants. So the timing was really right for it. So do you think that when you're making these new discoveries, upgrading your targets with your, such as you did today, do you think that this really just ripens you for perhaps any potential approaches?
Well, yeah, look, if you look in Queensland, there's below the majors, there's not much else in terms of certified reserves that other juniors have. So there's a risk, but at this point we've had no approaches, and really for our purpose, for shareholder value, it's really marketing our gas and getting our gas into Gladstone for both LNG but also for domestic use as well. So, we're aware of where the market's at and focusing on what we can control.
And just how important is getting the reserves to Gladstone? How important is Gladstone to Bow's future plans?
Look, it's part of our overall strategy. We've had an initial kickoff on commercialisation of our gas through power station at Blackwater, and that avenue is still open for us in terms of further expansion. There's also domestic requirements through the east part of Australia that is not being serviced because the majors are reserving their gas for the export market. So there's another window of opportunity for us to do that. So we're not relying on LNG for our gas. It's, as I would see it, very much a cream prospect for us. At the moment, we're focusing on more domestic supply. So we've got a good opportunity this year to work in parallel both options and push delivery on that.
So just how exciting a time is it to be in this sector?
Oh, very much. It's an opportunity for Bow and other CSG companies, coal seam gas companies, where there's expanding resource and reserves, and at volumes that have been unseen previously with what's happening in Gladstone and multinationals coming in to get our gas elsewhere throughout Asia. So a great opportunity, and Bow's well placed with some really great acreage that we own 100% in. So a big opportunity for us.
And of course, shares doing very well today, up 28%. John Stefani, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was John Stefani speaking to us from Brisbane. He's Bow Energy CEO.